No rules when you come out my way. That's why my field stays packed on Fridays. We hunting, fishing, good living, just soaking up every country second we're giving.
It's Justin Kelly and Laura Starling, the Old Boots podcast. Super happy today to be with Tony Evans Jr. Hey, Tony.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Tony? Thank you so much for coming today, man.
And
course, man.
also, Mr. Carl Washington is with us. Hey, Carl.
Hi guys, Carl Washington here with Tony Evans Jr., the face of country music that we're trying to make sure that everybody becomes familiar with his face.
There we go.
And
Well, it's a
his
pretty
voice.
face. Okay.
Yeah, where do you hear the voice? One of Tony's favorite sayings is that music sounds better with your eyes closed. So when he starts singing to you and you got your eyes closed and then all of a sudden you open your eyes and you see this face and you realize, okay, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it sounds better with my eyes open.
There we go.
This guy, you know?
So, Carl, you are one of Tony's managers.
That is correct. Yes.
You're actually an attorney by profession.
I am. I knew Tony before he was a speck in his daddy's eye.
Okay.
We older folks understand what that means, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Tony's father was an R&B singer. He was one of my first two clients when I graduated law school that I represented, and did a deal with Tony on Capitol Records. He was in a singing group at the time, and we were able to secure the recording contract at Capitol Records through Nashville, Tennessee. So we're from Atlanta. We went to Nashville, got a record deal with Capitol Records, and came back to Atlanta.
Gotcha.
25 years later, this guy
Here we go.
is here now. 26-year-old country singer Tony Evans Jr. So it's a full circle moment
Absolutely.
for us.
I'm glad you were able to stop by, Central Georgia and come see us.
Yeah, man.
I was looking up. I was Googling, trying to get all my information. So, who is your dad?
Well, I'm Tony Evans Jr., so he's Tony Evans.
Senior?
Yeah, senior,
But
basically.
is that what he goes by, Tony Evans Sr.?
Yeah.
And what kind of singer was he?
Well, he was an R&B singer.
R&B singer.
Yeah, he's an R&B group. And like Carl was saying, he ended up driving up to Nashville and getting a record deal. And, 25 years later, I drove up to Nashville for, different reason. I'm singing country music. So it was kind of the place I felt like I had to be,
Right.
But yeah, just kind of full circle,
Well, you got a little R&B in there, a little R&B sound sometimes. I listened to quite a few songs. When did you start singing?
When I was 10.
10 years old?
Yeah,
Wow.
10, yeah.
And when did people kind of know, or when did you know, or when did your parents start? Because I guess your parents are not going to tell you you're terrible if you're 10 and you're singing. But when did you start realizing this might be something I can do this?
Oh, when I was 10.
Okay.
I decided because I saw the industry,
Right.
so I knew it was a job. I decided. Now I wasn't that good when I first started, but I decided then, like, this is what I want to do with my life.
Right.
When I was a young kid. So
Awesome.
it didn't take me long.
And you picked up the guitar, and you said you weren't very good with it either.
I was terrible. So I told you the story earlier, but I was digging around in the basement at the house I grew up in, and I found this old guitar. And I asked my dad, I'm like, Dad, what's that? He's like, it's my old guitar. He had bought it to learn how to play. He never learned it.
Right.
Just threw it in the basement. It was all dusty. And I picked it up and I started playing, and I was terrible, and it was hard, and it made my fingers hurt. And I gave up for a year, I think.
Right.
And then a year later, I picked it up again. And I'm like, I'm not going to put this thing down till I can make it sound good,
Oh, yeah.
And that was 15 years ago. So it took a while, but, it's a part of me now.
Right.
Any guitarist knows, it's like, you hit that point where it's a part of you.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Me and Carl were talking earlier before the podcast started, and I've been thinking about it ever since he said it, but if you put 10,000 hours into anything, you'll be a master at it. And he said over the last year, that's what you have committed to, is to be a master at it.
Oh, yeah.
And you have mastered the guitar. And that's amazing.
Sure.
And
I'm still definitely getting better, but
that's something to apply to life and anything,
Absolutely.
man.
oh yeah.
And I'm going to use that from now
Feel
on.
free. It's a well-known fact that if you put in hobby hours, you're gonna get hobby results.
Right.
That's a
Right.
fact.
If you put in professional hours, you're gonna get professional
Right.
results. So, the one thing I can say about Tony is his level of commitment for this journey that we started has been inspiring.
Right.
Right. Because most people don't understand how long it really takes you to get from I want to be a country singer to being a country singer.
Absolutely.
And I was telling Tony on the drive down how I saw a chart that talked about how long it took, Megan Maroney to get where she is.
Right.
How long it took Lainey Wilson to get
Absolutely.
where she is, and most of them had 8, 9, 10 years of work.
Very hard work, living in a trailer park
Man.
below 50 miles from Nashville.
Come on, all that. So and I think that for us is part of the journey.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta tell you, Tony's been in Nashville doing his thing. He's been living out 3 years now, 4 years now.
I've been living that longer than that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Wow.
when he decided to pack up and go, like the whole idea of it is let me go to Nashville and get entrenched in this culture
Right.
and move around and get in studios and write with people, do all these things that I know is going to make me a better musician. But by the same token, that gave him time to develop as a person,
Right.
as an artist. I can recall a time when I was an intern. I interned at MCA Records in Nashville, Tennessee. Back then, George Strait was the biggest thing on the label.
Right.
A young guy came along by the name of Steve Earle.
Okay.
You guys remember Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
What?
because he's from Guitar Town.
Guitar Town.
Yeah, I know who Steve
One of my
Earle is.
favorite albums to this day. But I remember Steve Earle writing getting his record deal and coming in and saying how his first album, Guitar Town, took him his whole life to write.
Right.
His second album, he had to write it in 9 months because the label needed an album. But fortunately enough for him, he got a divorce in those 9 months. He said, well, at least I got some good songs out of it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
What Tony has been able to do is go in Nashville and get in his culture and struggle a little bit because, he had to drive Uber and all these other things.
That's right.
He's not a
All
major
type of-
star yet. We're making our way.
Yeah.
But putting in that energy and that effort and having to go through the same, training method that other artists who are major superstars now, it lets Tony know that, this thing is happening.
Yeah.
It's possible. I've seen others do it, and all I got to do is do my part.
Right.
And us coming to this podcast right now is part of us doing our
Yeah.
part. Tony gets it. Like that's
Yeah. One of my brothers, his biggest saying is there's no substitute for the process. And
yeah.
Tony's in the middle of the process.
trust
Oh
me.
yeah. I'm dead in it.
We've talked to some artists, and they talk about how, they'd go do a gig and they'd leave out with 50, 60 bucks in their pocket, and you've probably had to do some of those things. And,
Oh, yeah.
and that builds character, but there is no substitute for the process. And some people's process is 10 years, Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
Some people's process is 2 years, these TikTok stars that just, all of a sudden they just show up on the scene.
Yeah.
But there is a process regardless. There's no substitute for it, and that's awesome. That's great, man. It's an honor to have you here and just be in the middle of the process, be able to talk to you about part of the process, That's
And
awesome.
part of that process is building your social media. I went to your Instagram. You have 255,000 followers already, which is fantastic.
Right.
And I'm sure, I didn't look at TikTok, but I'm sure you probably got a lot on there as well.
I got a great story about that.
Okay.
So my TikTok, I had over 600,000 followers on my TikTok. And then it got hacked.
Oh, man.
TikTok got hacked. The hacker tried to extort me for money and all types of threats and a whole lot of stuff. So I actually only have 12,000 followers on TikTok now because I had to start over.
Ouch.
Had to start all the way
I had to start all the way over from 600,000. Yeah.
And it's a lot. That's hard to do. That's
It's hard to do, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but it's part of the process.
That's right.
Like we said. So I ain't got no problem with it, man.
That's right.
It happened the way it's supposed to. It's a great story to tell. So.
Absolutely.
We
When did
call
you
Tony
start?
we call Tony the head of our marketing, promotion, and branding company, and so chief social media officer.
There we go.
There you
He's
go.
so good at building the social media platforms that he performs on. And it just, that's a young man's kind of thing, but he's really, really good at it, and is primarily responsible for those 255,000.
And you'll get those 500,000 back very, very quick. It'll be over with.
I hope so.
Absolutely. So when did you start writing your own songs?
I probably started writing when I was 12,
12.
something like that, maybe a little earlier. Yeah,
Do you still have some of those old songs?
I do.
Do
Somewhere.
you ever sing them?
Never.
Why not?
Never. Those songs were terrible, man. But, oh, jeez. Yeah, man. Nah, we ain't going to talk about that.
Do you have them like saved in a book or go back and take a look at? Oh, it's
All up in the
your
mind.
head.
They're up here, locked away.
There you go. Sometimes that's the best place to keep everything right there.
Yeah, I actually probably do have books back. I used to actually write in physical books. I don't use books anymore. Recently, I haven't. They probably are in a notebook somewhere, now that I think about it.
Okay.
That would be interesting to find.
Yeah.
That will be interesting to find, especially later on when you're a big star and you go back and go, oh, look at these little notebooks I did when I was a kid. You might find a hidden gem in there somewhere. It's something that you think's no good now, but then you go back and look at it and you'll be like, whoa, this is pretty good.
I hope so. I need all the help I can get in writing these songs. So hopefully 10-year-old me can, help me out a little bit.
Right?
Well, I look at you, you're 26. I mean, you are, to me, I mean, you're a baby. So, and I don't mean that because you're a man, but you're a baby still.
For sure.
I mean, especially for somebody as old as me. But wow, to be able to start writing songs when you're 10 or 12 and then to keep on. I can't imagine what my life would be like if I decided at 10 or 12 what I was going to do and did it, because it takes most people a long, long time to figure out what exactly they want to do in life. So you've just had that straight on vision this whole time.
Yeah, I actually did, and it was tough, honestly, because, being a kid, people don't believe you can do it.
Right.
When you have a huge dream like I do.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially when it came time to go to college and stuff like that. I didn't go to college. I knew I didn't need college because I'm a singer.
That's right.
Like, if I knew about Belmont and Nashville, I probably would have went.
Right.
Because it was in Nashville and I could have learned about music. So that kind of makes sense. I'm glad I didn't know because I'd probably still be in debt right now. But, but my family members, it was tough dealing with that because they're like, you need a plan B, or, people don't make it trying to do that. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that. But that was just, again, another part of the process.
Right.
Because I knew, like, there was no doubt.
There was no doubt you were going to make it.
This is what I was going to do.
That's right.
And you've had some pretty exciting things happen. Of course, we were talking to Carl, and I had seen this on the internet as well, that you recently played the Apollo Theater in New York.
Yeah, I did the Apollo Music Cafe up there, and it was fantastic.
Wow.
It was really, really cool, man.
Man.
There's a lot of history in that building.
Yes.
An iconic.
Yeah,
venue.
iconic for sure. And I think seeing my name on that marquee, it changed something for me.
Oh, yeah.
And they gave my team a tour of the whole campus and just told stories. And then, it's just a lot of history in there, man. So that had changed my life.
There are, thousands, hundreds of thousands of stages on the world. There's 10 that have the history that one has.
Yeah.
Maybe there's 10.
If we count the whole world.
The whole world.
Whole world, yeah. Maybe 10, yeah.
I mean, that's
a special
that's
place.
awesome.
It's a special place, man. I felt electricity
Absolutely.
in there.
Man.
It was awesome.
I'm sure one of your goals is to play the Opry stage as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of how I look at the Apollo. I look at the Apollo and the Opry as like kind of siblings,
right?
Because I'm a country singer, so the Opry for country music is what the Apollo is for music for Black culture.
Oh yeah,
so I kind of look at them that way. But yeah, the Apollo thing was real special though.
That's awesome. So, you know, up there in Nashville, we refer to the Opry. I guess we talk about the Opry. We are talking about the new place where the Grand Ole Opry is. Okay. Have you ever played at the Ryman where it was?
I haven't played the Ryman. I haven't played it. I've been there plenty of times with my friends that have played it, but it's that's definitely a cool building. It's a cool place.
I've been
too.
into a lot of places in my life.
Yeah.
That place has got whatever it is.
Yeah.
It has it. The Ryman Auditorium has it. You know,
sure.
That is a magical spot. And, you know, I guess just to make it official, they took that circle out of the Ryman over to the new, and that's cool and all, but that Ryman has the juice, man. That, whatever it is.
The way it sounds, just the way the air flows in there.
Yes. And then
it's
in
cool,
the
man.
very back, you got those stained glass when the lights going on. Man, that's amazing. So I hope you get to play both of those soon. I feel like you are, man. I feel like that's coming.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to that.
When you were younger, and that, you know, it happens for some people in different times. You know, I've got somebody that I'm really good friends with, Demon Jones. He was close to 40 before one of his songs were picked up by a major artist, and that was a game changer in his life. But have you had one been picked up by any artist yet? Has that happened for you yet?
No, that hasn't happened for me.
Well, like I say, he was close to 40, you know, and he had been doing it ever since he was in high school too. So, I mean, that's, you know, it happens for different people. The process is a little longer for some people and shorter for some people, you know. But you are continually writing songs, and do you submit them to?
I don't submit
wherever they go.
I haven't submitted songs.
Okay,
I've never submitted a song.
You holding on to those songs?
Yeah, I'm definitely not against doing that.
Right.
It just hasn't happened.
You want to be a performer. You don't want to be a songwriter.
Yeah. I kind of write songs as a means to an end to make music for myself right now.
Okay.
But I am still a songwriter, so at some point, it's bound to happen that I just start writing and submitting.
Right.
But I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They always say never give away your hit record.
That's true.
Right. I've had clients who've done that before, and you know, Tony has the great grace of working with Ron Fair, one of the top producers in the music game. And Ron and Tony are like peanut butter and jelly, you know, and what they do is so special and so magical that, you know, to hear it and be in the space with them is kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, a lot of these special songs you want to hold on to.
Never give
you
away
know,
your
but we were talking with Travis Denning's parents, and he's been holding on to this song, I think, for a decade.
Wow.
And he was like, it's special. I don't want to do anything with it. It's got to be the right time, And then his manager comes to him and says, Travis, Carrie Underwood called and wants this song. He said, I think it's the time.
So that's the single that's out now with Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's
Fantastic
a good one.
song.
Wow.
So if you get that kind of call, I would suggest
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let it ride.
We can talk about it. Yeah.
work through it.
We'll have a conversation.
There you
at least. Yeah.
Nothing like good old fashioned mailbox money.
that's right.
To do, you know. So,
And you've got something else kind of exciting coming up because you have struck a deal with Wrangler.
Yeah, so it's actually, I've had a relationship with them for a couple of years now. I did a thing with them a little while back, but I just what sorry.
You're good.
I ain't have my coffee. But yeah, so I just did an advertisement for their winter campaign, and we're looking at doing more stuff in the future. And the people over there are really cool. I'm actually wearing some jeans that they sent me right now.
There you
go. It's worth it for me already.
There you go.
But
Already paying off.
Ask you, do you get free Wranglers?
I definitely do, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
one of the perks.
Yeah, just one of the perks, man. I Wranglers are genuinely my favorite jeans. I wear them every day, as a lot of folks who listen to this can probably relate, you know.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Wrangler. They make a great pair of jeans.
Yeah. Wranglers fit me better too. So, you know, Wranglers, if y'all want to send me a pair, go on and do it.
So you can't get that worked out for you. What they want to do with Tony for 2025 is make Tony the face of
It's all right.
make Tony the face of their 2025 campaign.
Wow.
That's been the conversation. So we've negotiated and put everything together for Tony. So, you know, the 24 campaign is well underway. Tony has already taken care of that part of it. So now we morph into 2025.
Right.
Well, they want to turn Tony into this whole Wrangler thing with the ultimate objective of giving Tony a small line of Tony Evans Jr. type apparel
Very cool.
for Wrangler. So that's
Yeah.
the ultimate objective. So we get that worked out, Justin.
There you go. I want one of the first pairs. I want to be there, man.
Oh, I do.
I got it.
That is super, though. I mean, that is
Yes.
great to get that kind of endorsement deal. And I mean, here's the truth. You could be a model.
Thank you.
I mean, you're going to be a singer. I mean, you are a singer, but you could be a model if you wanted to.
Well, I appreciate that.
Maybe you could just be both.
It'll probably end up happening that way. You know, I like art in general.
Yeah.
So any artistic project, creative project I can be involved with.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, look at Kane Brown. Kane Brown was half model-ish kind of right there in the very beginning. You saw him in all kind of ads. People were trying to, and then it just worked out. He made it with the singing part of it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, in the beginning, all you did, you saw Kane Brown in I can't remember if it was Chevrolet or Dodge, but you saw him in jeans commercials, sneakers, whatever. He was on those.
Yeah.
Even more, I think, than he was singing. I mean, from what I, from what I
Maybe
remember.
he'll get you that King Ranch deal.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Which camera do I look at?
That's right there.
It's a King
Talk
Ranch.
to
Hey.
him, Tony. Talk to him.
Ford, King Ranch, hit me up.
There you go.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
That is awesome. So, what do you got coming up for 2025 that you can talk about besides the modeling, the jeans?
Well, I put it like this: a lot of new music. I'm not quite sure what that means yet. I haven't decided if I want to release an album next year or if it's just gonna be singles or whatever. But it's gonna be new music, and it'll be just continuing the story of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm still like, I've been doing music for a long time, but I'm just now kind of getting on the radar, on people's radar. So it's just, yeah, we're kind of just getting started. So 2025 is the beginning.
Do you think you're looking for a record deal, or do you think that you would like to remain an independent artist?
I will say whatever God got planned for me is what I will do. I'm definitely not looking for a record deal. I'm definitely not dying on the hill of independence if it's not the best thing for my career.
Absolutely.
But I am going to try to make the best decision I possibly can.
There you go.
That's my political answer.
A lot of times there's a fine medium there. There's you do sometimes need the backing of one of these big conglomerate companies. You know what I mean? You need that. And I think they're giving a little bit more leash to a lot of these artists because there's a lot more people that talk to each other now, and everybody knows, hey, don't go sign something and give your life away to anybody, and so.
Well, your manager is a lawyer, so you'll be okay.
There you go. There you go.
I think he's in good hands.
Yeah.
Carl's got it under control.
I think we're good. I think Tony is the type of artist that's going to change the landscape of how business is done.
Right.
Because of the position we're trying to place him in. And if a major deal comes, great. If it's perfect, it's got to make sense. Like what we're trying to do with Tony is build partnerships. Partnership. We want a partnership with Wrangler. We want a partnership with Derek. We want a partnership with Justin, King Ranch. Because for us, I think the like you talked about Kane Brown and all the things that he has going on. Like all of those are brand partnerships that all it does is elevate the art.
That's right.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, Tony's a singer.
Right.
So. But now the world is so much smaller with the advent of this cell phone and how easily it is for people to get to you and your content and know everything there is to know about you. Because, like, for one of the things, there's a pastor named Tony Evans.
I saw that on the.
And so
I saw that when I was
people
Googling.
confuse Tony Evans with Tony Evans Jr. and think that this is his son.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but his son is actually known as Anthony Evans. Anthony Evans Jr. So. We make that distinction. So I think partnerships will allow us to continue to make that distinction. But at the same time, help Tony build his brand. Right. And things that he loves. Like Tony's a big espresso drinker. We were talking about, what's the name of the company, bro?
Escazo.
Escazo.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a partnership with them.
Right.
They're an espresso company. I'm not a coffee drinker. I told Lori earlier I'm a tea guy. But those strategic partnerships will help their brand and it helps us because for us, country music, especially in the Black culture, is not something that happens all the time. So, like, for example, if you go to Tony's Instagram and you see comments on his Instagram page, a lot of them are African American women 18 to 54. And the main comment you read is, I didn't know I liked country music until I heard Tony Evans.
There we go.
There you go.
Right. So now we're bringing all of these new fans,
people.
people over who then they'll discover Kane Brown, they'll discover Lainey Wilson, they'll discover, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tony will be the catalyst to bring that into.
Yes, a whole new generation, a whole another demographic of listeners to the country music as a whole.
As a whole. So, you know, that's been the prevailing thought.
And I think one of the best things about country music, you know, if you're going to be rap, it's got to sound rapish. You know what I mean? If you're going to be like jazz, it's got to sound jazzy. Country right now, and it probably has been this for a long time, but country right now, sometimes some of these songs I'm listening to on country radio, you're like, is that country? I guess it is because it's on country radio. So country's a really wide, broad right now.
Broad,
so where you say you bring the R&B, feel to it, it's because there's such a wide variety of country music now that R&B style that you were talking about that some of your songs sound like fits right in, you know?
Yeah. I like to think my music is more down the middle ish. It's hard to put your finger on it, I think, you know, when you listen to my stuff. But yeah, it's just a little something different that I feel like my people will be able to gravitate towards.
Right. That's awesome.
Kind of call Tony the George Strait meets Teddy Pendergrass. That's the unicorn phrase.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Meets Teddy Pendergrass. So, you know, I think when he hits that stride and people realize how good he really is and listen to these songs,
right?
I think he draws them in, you know, in a way that other country artists before him have done,
right?
But in a broader sense,
right?
So, you know, it's.
So you did tell me earlier that George Strait is your hero.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's the man.
George Strait is the George Strait. Straight country George Strait.
Absolutely.
Man, he's the coolest thing on the planet. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
How many times have you seen him in concert?
I've never seen him in concert.
Oh, no.
Never have.
Okay,
Me neither.
That's a ticket that's got to happen.
I started to go watch him, and it was like $1,500 a seat to sit in the nosebleeds, and I was like,
man,
I guess I'll see him next time.
Yeah.
Get your tickets early.
That's right.
I'm much older than y'all, so I've seen George Strait several times, and you definitely need to get a ticket to one of those
I got to figure that one out. I got to figure that out.
You got to figure that out.
For
I have
sure.
a George Strait story. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So when I was in college at Belmont, I used to work for an old black guy named J.L. Allison. J.L. was the maintenance guy for MCA Records, but he also had a side business where he cleaned up the buildings for Charlie Pride and Irv Woosley. You know Irv
I know
Woosley?
who Irv is.
So Irv used to manage George Strait.
Yes.
So when I came to Belmont, I needed some money, and I was interning at the record company. He said, "Hey man, look, I'll pay you a little money to go clean up these buildings, and and I'll keep the rest."
Right.
So I'm not sure how much they paid JL, but he gave me my little money, and on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, I cleaned up Charlie Pride's publishing company.
Very cool.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays and Friday, I cleaned up Herb Woosley's office. And so I would see all this George Strait stuff and all these memorabilias, and more importantly, what I threw away in the trash can.
Right.
You'd be amazed at what you can find in people's trash can. Right. So I'm like, George Strait, San Antonio, Texas, San Antonio Theater. I'm looking at this stuff and I'm saying, but Irv and I became good friends. He passed away recently. And he invited us to the house for Christmas a couple of times. And I've never seen George Strait live, but I've been in the room with George Strait many times through Irv because I was fortunate enough to clean up his office when I was in college.
Oh, that's a great story.
That is a good story.
That was good stuff. Man. The good old days. And Tony gets tired of hearing all my old Nashville stories, but
I don't, man.
I tell him these things to inspire him, to let him know, like, man, We're not that far away. We're
Yeah.
That's right.
we're a hit record away from being,
That's exactly right.
on top of the world.
I mean, Faith Hill was working as a receptionist at the record company, and somebody heard her singing. That was Faith Hill. So you never know where it's going to come, when it's going to come, how it's going to come. But you brought your guitar.
did.
So we'd love for you to sing for us.
Absolutely.
For sure.
If you don't mind pulling it out and singing, that'd be fantastic.
Pull your arm, dude. Right?
I did find a song that you recorded. I don't know if it was just a piece or whatever, but it was a song about if you ever come to Georgia, you're not leaving alone.
Yeah. That one, I'll sing that one, matter of fact.
Ah.
I just thought it was about Georgia, and it'd be kind of cool. You can just do like a little piece of that and then do some of yours.
I guess it's a podcast, so I got time to talk about it.
Yeah, you got plenty of time, man.
So, the song is about this girl, and we met, and it was kind of one of those whirlwind things, you know. We immediately just hit it off. We just had that connection, and we spent days and days together. But it was kind of bittersweet because we knew that she was moving for a job out of state, and I didn't know her long enough for it to be a heartbreak. But it was just like, man, if that girl ever comes back, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like that. So the song is about that. I know you had your reasons. I didn't believe them until you were leaving town. Watching you drive down 75, hoping you turn back around. It's been a year now, and I'd like to hear how you're doing out in LA. I hope that you're happy, but girl, if you ask me how things were going, I'd say, if you're ever in Georgia, just let me know. 'Cause next time I hold you, I ain't letting go. And if the day comes that you wanna run, girl, I just want you to know, next time you leave Georgia, you ain't leaving alone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, does she live in LA?
It was actually Florida. And,
Florida?
And she's moved back, but I ain't seen her since.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, maybe maybe she'll look up one day and you'll be on the radio or something like that. She'll hear you and you'll be like, wow.
Maybe.
so your new
That's awesome.
single is called Yours.
Yeah, it's called Yours, and it's more of like a sexy song, you know. It's kind of like just saying what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been working all day, and you've been waiting on me, and I guess I can just sing it too.
You can sing it.
We want to hear it, and I think the ladies out there in listener land want to hear it too.
Yes.
As your co-host called it, belly rubbing music.
Really, really.
Yeah, belly rubbing
I hadn't
music.
heard that in a long time.
I've been missing something that I've been thinking about the whole day through. Can't put my finger on it, but Lord knows I want to. Yes, I do. I want everything you got tonight, so baby, lock that door. Pour a glass of red or white and bring that body over. 'Cause you got something I've been needing, and I don't need nothing more. Tonight, all I wanna be is yours. Is yours. You got all of my attention. You make me wanna come around, lay it down a couple rounds and wake up next to you. Cause baby, when our fingers intertwine, we'll hold back the hands of time. Let's spend forever, babe, right here in this room. Cause I want everything you got tonight. So baby, lock that door, pour a glass of red or white and bring that body over. Cause you got something I've been needing, and I don't need nothing more. Tonight, all I wanna be is yours.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
We're all speechless now.
Appreciate you.
Well, yeah, and all the ladies will be fanning themselves. So.
That's right.
Okay.
Good stuff. So, man,
Thank you.
I just hearing the lyrics of those two songs, I think if you ever get in the mode of wanting to sell some songs or enter that realm of Nashville, I think you got it, man. I think you're in the clear.
Appreciate that, man. I want to get to the point where I write too many songs to keep for myself.
Right.
And it's like, I might as well do something with these.
Right. Oh yeah.
Are you on a writing schedule? Do you schedule so much time per week, or
Not
just
really.
when you feel it?
Honestly, the way I write intuitively, I need to get a schedule, honestly. But I kind of write intuitively. So
Right.
when I have my writing sessions that I set, but it's not like an everyday thing. It's like when I'm driving down the road, a song like come in my head will pop up and it'll just be like, I have to write this.
Absolutely.
I'll record a little minute of it, and then I might not write the song for a year.
Right.
I come back to it and then I'll finish it, or I might finish it later that week. But I have thousands of just little pieces of songs that I put together.
It's very cool.
That's kind of how my process works.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear some people and they're like they wake up in the middle of the night. What Dolly Parton says that she says she keeps a little notepad next to her. She says she'll wake up in the middle of the night and have to write something down.
Oh yeah,
like,
that definitely
man.
happens. Yeah.
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 And I know I don't have that any piece of that bone in my body to write a song, but I could see how that could be. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's what you do. You wake up in the middle of the night. I wake up in the middle of the night and think about a machine that we didn't turn off at the restaurant. You know what I mean? So, I guess your wheels are turning no matter what you do for a living.
yeah.
Your wheels are turning 24/7.
And the fear of losing a song, man,
Right.
is the worst.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I remember I was 16 or something like that, and I started thinking I was really good at writing songs.
Right.
I wasn't, but I started thinking I was. And oh man, I felt like I had written the best song ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best song ever, and I completely forgot it.
Oh,
And I might have cried. I might have cried because I was so obsessed with how good this song was.
right.
And now I'll never know. I can't even remember.
Aw.
So since then, I record everything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care if it's 2 notes that I'm humming. I record
Mm-hmm.
everything.
What's a lot easier with the cell phone,
For sure.
all
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, it still breaks my heart to this day.
So you got have you got your tour set up for early 2025?
Not yet.
Your dates?
Not yet. We're working on all the shows for next year and everything. But
You think you'll be coming around somewhere near Central Georgia?
I sure hope so.
I got you. You're just waiting on the right call, right?
For sure.
Now, somebody's going to see this podcast and go, we need to get that dude to play down here.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'd love
Yeah.
to come down here.
I think I need to get with my guys at the Cox Capitol down there and get him down there, man. That's
Yeah, we got some very nice venues that you could play here. in
Absolutely.
Georgia. That'd be fantastic.
yeah.
Hey, I'd love to do that.
They
for
already
sure.
told me they knew we were doing this podcast and knew we'd see some up and coming stars, and it was like, hey, you let them know, Cox. We're ready for them. So we'll do it.
That would be a fantastic place for you to play.
Yes, it can hold 1,000 people if you want it to.
Yeah.
But 600 to 1,000 people, and
Oh, cool.
you would rock that joint. And it's got amazing vocals in it too. Woo,
yeah.
woo.
Do you have a band already, or
I do. Yeah.
you do?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Well, we're going.
Well, Justin might sponsor it.
Yeah. You might come
never
down
know
there.
what that crazy man's gonna do.
You never know what we can put together in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Dairy Queen show at the
Yeah.
at the
As long as he has those chili cheese claw dogs there, Justin.
There you go.
We're good.
All right, before we go, because I know that you guys got to get back on the road, but Carl, you're such an interesting person. Do you have any really good story you want to tell us before you go? Because I think we could probably spend a couple of hours talking to you because
Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you look at it. I do have great stories. But my favorite story, though, is, and I hate this sounds really crass. My favorite story is the full circle moment for Tony Evans Jr. And you have to understand that Tony, so when I first started practicing law, his father's then girlfriend was my secretary.
okay,
And that's how I met Tony Evans Sr. She was, she was my secretary. And I'm talking about the first 2 clients. I had one client before that, and then Tony Evans Sr. and his group. I would be in the clubs every night in Atlanta looking for artists, trying to build myself up as an entertainment lawyer. And it worked. And my wife, go back out. Stay out as long as you need to. Go make this happen. And then Tony Evans Sr. came along, and, everything just kind of fell into place, like almost perfectly. So me going back to Nashville after having graduated from Belmont, after having graduated from law school at Mississippi College, and then meeting my old friend Mike Dixon and saying, hey, I got this group in Atlanta that I need you to take a look at. So we drove to Nashville and hooked up with Mike Dixon, who is part of our management team today. And the full circle moment, it amazes me how God has been moving in Tony Evans Jr.'s life. For him to be seen on a social media platform called The Shade Room. Keisha Cole, who's a very famous R&B artist, saw Tony Evans Jr. on a Shade Room post. And she proceeded to call Ron Fair, one of the most well-known record producers in the music industry. Sold over 100 million records. He's produced anybody you can think of. Was the president of Interscope Records for a long time. But she introduced Tony to Ron Fair just because she saw him on the Shade Room post. So, but before then, we had already been rolling with Tony. Our team had already been putting out music, recording music, getting Tony ready. And when he met Ron, everything just kind of fell into place creatively. Ron has his own studio in Nashville, and you can imagine, this guy, he's an LA guy, but he moved to Nashville 7 or 8 years ago. And he had been looking for a Tony Evans Jr. type in his life, somebody that he can work with and collab with. Tony has a songwriting partner named Fred Wilhelm. So Fred and Tony have just been writing songs and crafting and writing songs and crafting. So to watch this unfold now, after, like I said, I knew Tony when he was a speck in his daddy's eye, right? I mean that. Literally, he wasn't even thought of at the time.
yes,
When I met his father. But now we're all in this thing together, and everybody has a role to play, right? And everybody has a job to do. And Tony understands what he's here for. At dinner last night, I said, Tony, what's your why? Why do you think God put you on this earth? Why do you think God gave you this and gave you this voice? And he said, I didn't think about that. And he did. And he told me what it was. And his why perfectly aligned with what I always felt it was, just watching him grow over these last couple of years. Because I've been involved in a lot of artists' careers. I've had a lot of fun. I made a little money. I get to play golf every Wednesday as a result of it. But when I get to spend time with Tony, it reminds me of why I got into it. So while I'm asking him what his why is, I'm literally thinking about, well, what's my why? My why is to help Tony change the landscape of what we know to be just great music. Because great music is great music. It doesn't matter the genre. It can be country, rap, R&B, gospel. It doesn't matter. Great music is great music, and it always stands the test of time. So my dream for Tony is really simple. And so to answer your question, if I can get Tony myself and the team that surround Tony Evans Jr., because there's a bunch of us, no man's an island. If Tony gets to perform on Saturday Night Live on a Saturday night at 11:30 on NBC, everything that Tony would have wanted would be encapsulated in that moment on Saturday Night Live, because you only get to play Saturday Night Live if you have reached the pinnacle of.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the story that I want to tell about what we have going on with Tony. So it's that level of commitment from us. And, Tony has the gift, he has the talent, he has the drive, he has the commitment to the 10,000 hours, to the process, because most people will give up right before the miracle happens.
Right.
And that's a bad thing. Because us, we know what we see the potential is for Tony, but more importantly, Tony sees it. He's willing to do the work for the potential to come to fruition. So,
Yeah.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, he's very fortunate to have you and everybody else in his life.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I'm just so excited that we got to meet you. I'm excited we got to meet you and hang out and listen to you sing, and hopefully you'll remember us when.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
What a great thing, guys. Making it's been good to Tony.
Yeah, man. I had, was it H&H?
Yeah.
Man, that brisket hash.
Oh, yeah.
Man, made my morning. Fried green tomatoes.
Yeah.
Man.
You saw the mural on the side of the building?
I saw it. I took a picture with
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I'll be back down to Macon for sure.
Absolutely.
If not for music, for that food.
Absolutely.
It'll bring me back.
What, Mama Louise, she just died, a year ago, maybe? Mama Louise did?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, that was her place, man. And
Oh, yeah.
she fed the Allman Brothers for 20 years, 30 years right there?
Time.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, that place has got a lot of history.
Yeah.
Lots of
I
history.
saw it on the walls.
You would also see her backstage. You might see her backstage at a Jason Aldean show. And,
Right.
Wow.
I mean, she was always around, and just a really fantastic person. So, where did you guys eat dinner last night?
We just had hotel food. We got here so late
okay.
last night, so we couldn't. We barely got to the kitchen. The kitchen was about to close, but they were kind enough to oblige.
Well,
Yeah,
I know y'all are
definitely got to come. I'm sorry, Justin.
you go.
Definitely got to come back to Macon, because there are quite a few places to eat, including Dairy Queen and Gray.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to tell you. I know y'all got to hit the highway and hit 75 north, but if you got 15 minutes to go that way, food's on me. That's where I'm going, is Dairy Queen and Gray, and we'll hook you guys up. And, the number one up and coming artist can eat at the number one Dairy Queen in the world, man.
Hey.
There you go.
Like the
Thank
sound
you
of
guys
that.
so much again.
Thank you for having us.
We're with
Sure.
Carl Washington, and also we are with Tony Evans Jr. And I encourage you to go to all his social media sites, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, wherever. Find him, follow him, and keep up with what's going on.
Absolutely. And hey, as with always, make sure if you get the opportunity to do something good, you should do something good. Thank y'all so much. And hey, all Tony's followers, y'all come follow us. Y'all just hit that like and subscribe
Hit that
button,
like
okay?
and subscribe on YouTube.
Old Boots Podcast.
No rules when you come out my way.